Free Alabama movement, continuing with our video series inside the St. Clair Correctional Facility as we record this documentary profiling the inhumane and unconstitutional living conditions inside Alabama's Department of Corrections. We also continue to develop strategies for economic policies of empowerment for prisoners, and we also review sentencing and parole reform as it affects people's current sentence and future sentences, the amount of time they serve in prison, the conditions that we serve time under, and issues affecting reentry and preparedness to go back into society. We'll continue with the interview we started earlier with Michael Fields, Antoine Liston, and Warren Gunn. We'll also be adding Bruce Hill to the interview series. That's Bruce Hill right there. He's a pro se litigant, very active inside of prison, filed multiple civil lawsuits dealing with the conditions of confinement, harassment by police officers, the constitutional rights of prisoners, and just continue to be an activist inside of prison as we continue to try to educate the courts and society about the conditions that we live up under. Okay, we're going to go back to Mr. Gunn for a second and continue the interview series. Mr. Gunn, earlier you were telling us about the fact that you're about to be released from prison, and you were saying that you hadn't been prepared for release, and you were honest about that in the 3 times you've been to prison. So just speak to some of the things that you've been incarcerated for in the past, the crime that you're incarcerated for right now, and just some of the things relative to rehabilitation that you haven't received.
Well, I got a previous history of robbery first. I normally come to prison for everything.
Okay.
Robbery first and attempted murders and stuff.
Okay.
Last time I had did like 10 years. I got out unprepared. I went out there into society without any planning and no thing. I returned less than a year.
Okay, so when you did the 10 years, did you have a 10-year sentence or did you make parole?
I had a 3-year sentence, actually.
Oh, you had a 3-year, you had a split sentence?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did the split, and after you completed the split?
No, they took my split.
Okay, so you had, what was your original sentence?
3 years.
3 years?
Mandatory.
Okay. And you violated in the course of serving that?
Yeah.
And you ended up doing what?
10.
A full 10-year sentence?
Yeah.
During the course of serving that 10-year sentence, was it mandatory that you get a GED or mandatory that you get a skill or trade, anything like that?
I ain't got a GED, I got 3 trades.
Okay, what about life skills? Did you get anything like that as far as preparing you to go back out there? How old were you when you first caught your case?
Like 18.
18 years old?
Yeah.
So you got out of prison and you caught another criminal case and you came back to prison?
Came right back.
Okay, and so what were the circumstances about that?
I got out and caught a robbery case, came back to that, and some gun cases and stuff, felony case.
Okay.
I ended up getting a no deal back on one robbery. But I beat the federal case at trial.
All right.
And I ended up getting life without in this case, 2 of them.
Okay.
And I was fortunate enough to get that case overturned.
Okay.
They ain't had no evidence anyway.
Okay.
They just seen out the black man in the all-white county and conviction.
Okay.
Got any evidence.
Okay. And so you got out from that, and now you back again for a 3rd time.
No, I never got out.
Okay, so you fixing to get out now.
I got my sentence reduced from life without the 15.
Okay.
Good time.
Okay, so when do you EOS that?
2015.
Okay. Conditions for earning good time, does it involve anything about rehabilitation class, anything? Do you have to do anything to earn good time, or just have a sentence that fits within the structure of good time?
Fit within the structure.
Okay, so, and you said that you don't feel like you received any type of rehabilitation.
I know I haven't.
You know you haven't. So you know it's a chance when you get back out there.
Come right back.
It's a possibility. Yeah, and how does that, I mean, in knowing that, being a black man, you've been to prison 3 times, how does that make you feel knowing that you're going to be released into a society that you're not prepared for?
Scared. They just kill my brother. And, when I get out, I probably don't have my mama that she dying. And I might be out there alone by myself. Might end up home, anything. Got nobody to help me when I get out.
Right. Okay. So they don't help you as far as finding places to go, people who help you, just get your feet when you coming back. They don't have a platform for that.
The only thing the parole lady told me is make sure I pay them $40 a month. So they directed me into some good class, and then like
They just want the money. So it's just a money scheme. They hold you in prison. It's about the money, and then when they let you out, that's all it is about the money. Okay. I'm gonna go to Mr. Lipson for a minute. I'm gonna come back to you in just a second.
Okay.
How you doing today, Twan?
Good morning, everybody. We've been trying to get this out, get the message down there. Everybody know we're trying to free ourselves, free Alabama moving. That's what it's about. We're just telling the story about how we live in inhumane conditions under prejudicial prosecution, all types of things.
Yeah.
But currently, right now, we're trying to point out the fact that the condition of our living is so bad, so messed up. It's not conducive to trying to make a change as far as learning more and experiencing better ways, and learning better ways to live. They don't provide that. This is like a society, a village society, and this society is totally based on ignorance and hostility. You know, there's a lot of misdiagnosed mental cases in prison that should be having medical care, mental health.
True that.
It's not available in prison.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So when you inside a prison, I mean, you've been to college before. You come from a good background. Tell them a little bit about your background, your mom and pop.
My dad did 20 years now.
Okay.
My mom, she was a teenager when I was born. She's single parent. She worked. She's a college graduate, master's degree.
Okay.
But at the same time, those influences were good, and then I had influences outside my family. You know, that's some things that led me to prison. Things that happened outside my household, not my household being a bad place. There's a lot of people that come from those environments that I had a stable home.
Okay. And
I wasn't secure there. That's why I lived into the street. I didn't understand what having a good home was. I was a child.
Right.
And just exposed to the world. And my surroundings when everything goes, you know. And it led me to prison. From a child, I took chances and things that normal person was scared of, I would try. You know, because it was going my life, being around those kind of type things. I'm in prison right now, so I'm out for murder.
So even though you came from that environment, you still had some degree of success because you made it to college. You know what I'm saying?
I know success is true. One day changed my life forever. You know, one mistake, one wrong move may change my life forever. I've done many great things as far as a young man trying to prosper. Like I've strived and I've done those things. You know, my greatest downfall is coming to prison for murder, killing another man. And that's not my defining my life.
Right.
That's
but they want to define you by it. The situation, circumstances of that day, they want to define you by that. I know you're working on your case. You're trying to get back in the court. There's some issues with that. But how old were you when you got the life without parole sentence?
I was 24 years old.
24 years old, college educated, high school graduate.
Yeah, I was in college at the time, you know. I was a business owner. I was working every day. It wasn't like I was just a known criminal, just a daily criminal. No. And one day I was involved in criminal activity, and a situation occurred. You know. But at the same time, those things that occurred because of things that happened throughout my life. That one day was shaped by the days of my life before that day. You know.
So I mean, the first time you get in trouble, and you were charged with a capital murder, right? And it was only one victim. And the circumstance, the reason why it was capital is because this person was a law enforcement official. So you didn't target a law enforcement official. It just so happened that you crossed paths with someone who was in law enforcement, and they basically sought the death penalty against you for that. So how did it feel? I mean, your first time dealing with the adult system, and these people are saying, well, it's your unlucky day. You killed the wrong somebody. We want to kill you in return.
They never proved I killed anybody. I never said that I killed anybody. Any of those things. The proof of my case was they say circumstantial saying that I had a probability of being in the area on the crime scene. They never proved, or even they charged an indictment form with that commission of murder because there's a dead body. They know this man was killed. They know how he was killed. So they charged me directly with the murder, and they don't know how it happened, why it happened, or when. You know.
And you worked in the law library. You read transcripts, so you know how it works. You know what I'm saying? And now that you got this life without parole, you're not even afforded an opportunity to complete college, even though you've shown that you have the ability to, you know, function on that level. So the deprivation of opportunities for further rehabilitation, for further development, and knowing that this was a one-time incident, how does that make you feel? I mean,
that situation right there was so sad because you around so many young guys that had never had the knowledge of how to live or how the things that life about. And being seeing things and having knowledge of other things, it hurts me because people that I know, you know, and that motivated us though. Because deep down inside we wanted to succeed, we wanted to overcome this. So we took upon ourselves and created a safe environment, created communities and violence. Right. We was against the rape, the robbery, even the gang bangers. We were gang bangers, you know. Yeah. We changed our hearts and our minds, and we tried to spread that like wildfire, and it did. We took over the prison.
peacefully. Yeah, they should. That's one of the first things that Davenport did when he got here, because I was over the education department at the time, and I was running the GED program. I had over 100 students in my GED class, all gang-related, all young guys. Most of them had life without parole, life sentences, and had violent histories. And these are the men that we embrace, because we understand that these people are capable of making change. What we also understand is that there's no opportunity for them to make changes inside the system. So like Twan's talking about, Lil Mike is talking about, we created these opportunities, you know. We beat the concrete, we found sponsors, we found people donate supplies, donate books, you know what I'm saying, come up here.
We intervene between knife fights, we've done all those.
On a daily basis.
They say that the police don't do what they get paid to do, and what they stay down in Montgomery, what they supposed to do.
But they got J&K under them over there. You can't even get in the block if you're a violent criminal. And they just leave it to us to deal with, but then the things that we're trying to do to help people, to make people better, we can't get no support from the administration.
That's why we take it upon ourselves, you know. And everything that we did take steps forward in a positive direction. They put up roadblocks every step of the way.
Right.
You know, the administration, there was a few administrators that was supported us, and they was outcast. Most of them guys ended up getting skipped away from here because of helping inmates.
That's right.
The whole time, a correctional officer is supposed to be accountable to an inmate at all times. When any study, anything dealing with life and prison life, that don't exist. There's a police officer, there's a correctional officer, then there's inmates, and there's a big gap. It's like it's us against them, and then there's a hate, and there's an envy. Right.
And the powers that be, the higher up, they play off of that. You know what I'm saying? They want them to understand that if you want to keep this job, you can't be making friends. You can't be trying to counsel these guys. You can't be trying to help them deal with their problems. You just wait till something happens, and you pull out your stick and bust somebody's head.
There's an unknown system within the system of Department of Corrections where you maintain an inmate in prison, and you create the longevity of job security. Those rules, disciplinary citations, the things that they implement, the rules they implement, the way they give them the open reign to just write you up and charge you with a crime. A disciplinary is really a crime on the street. Right. And in prison, that disciplinary can be used to hold it in prison 15, 20 years when you not even formally charged or been judged correctly. The whole system is improper. It's prejudicial. There's no fair shake for nothing when you have a charging officer involved over the judicial part.
Yeah, he's making the decisions on what he's charging.
He's making the judgment on charge, and nobody, the police there, but the police. You know, and our mission here is to get these things exposed and out to the world.
Right.
And God made a way we're able to do this. You know, and we need everybody to understand that the people that are in prison, your sons, your fathers, your brothers, your cousins, you know, these are people, your sisters, this woman down at Tulsa, they go through the same thing. Every family is affected by crime, drugs, all these things are part of life. But the way these punishments are implemented, that's where the wrong is.
Right.
You know, there's a wrong for committing a crime, too. But there's a wrong for the way.
There's a wrong in the way that you try to go about. The wrong is that you got a system that on the face is saying we about corrections, but the reality is there's no corrections involved.
And that's the reason why I'm willing to put my face up and put my voice out there for the Free Alabama movement. I understand that this is the only thing, this is the only way we're going to make it happen for us, by us.
We got to do it again.
We got to do it. And as you can hear, all of us come from different backgrounds. Some of us come from rougher backgrounds, some of us come from educated backgrounds, some of us come from spiritual background, but we all here, and we live under conditions, man, that's inhumane.
Yeah, I mean, you can look and see, this is just a typical cell where you can see all the dirt on the walls, graffiti and whatnot, all the different things. You can see paint chips, you know what I'm saying, the rust, you know, lack of ventilation. These guys, he got holes in the wall, but he's got some tissue stopped up in the hole to keep the air and the roaches out. You know what I'm saying? You got the same thing right here up at this one. We have to stuff these holes because, you know, you can see the crack that runs all the way down this wall right here. This is a seam. This is a crack runs all the way down the wall. And this is just how we live. You know, the paint is chipping inside of the cell right there. You know, these things are just, these are not the norm. This is not the way. The vents got so much rust in them. We got plenty of those. You can see the light just hanging in there. You know, and this is just what we're doing. And to get back to you, Mr. Phil, just expound a little bit further on the living conditions.
I just, the reason I'm really trying to advocate and push Free Alabama, man, because Free Alabama movement, because not only are we human, we're somebody people. You know what I'm saying? All of no matter the story, we're somebody people. And regardless of the crime that we committed, regardless of the crime we committed, man, we don't deserve it.
Yeah, this doesn't serve any purpose.
It don't.
Nothing can be gained from this.
I've been sentenced to live the rest of my life and die just like this. No matter what I do, no matter how much I grow in character, no matter how much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding I grow, I learn, train here. I'm just stuck here.
And then, you know, you was it, 19 when you caught?
Actually, I was 22.
Oh, 22. So you still got, you know, so many years of growth, so many years of development, so many years to look at, you know, the situation that brought you here and to learn from it and grow from it, but you not receiving any type of opportunity to benefit from it.
It weighs down on us, man. Most of the people feel hopeless. Most of us feel hopeless in prison instead of overcrowded. You can look at the stats. The stats will show that Alabama is leading the nation almost in overcrowding. And for us not to have a reform of any kind, we just fucked up.
That's what it boiled down to.
We fucked up. There's no reform, no rehabilitation, no incentive for us to get back to the streets. We just died, and we dying under these circumstances.
Yeah, and it's not right, you know.
It's not right.
And
so I'm definitely for the Alabama movement. That's why you see my face and why you hear my voice. You'll see my family face. You'll hear my family voice. And everybody that ride with me, that stand for me, stand for Free Alabama movement.
Okay. We're going to go to you for 1 second, Mr. Hill. Appreciate you coming and being a part of what we're doing. Tell us your name, or just give us a little background information about yourself.
My name is Bruce Hill. I'm from Inglewood, New Jersey.
Okay.
And I came down south and got caught up in the crime arena.
Okay.
And when I got caught up inside the crime arena, we was buying and receiving stolen property. I received 3 charges of receiving stolen property, and I ended up with 99 years.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Say that. Hold on. I didn't hear that right. I know I didn't hear that right.
I am currently serving a 99-year sentence for receiving stolen property.
99 years.
Correct.
Where do you get 99 years at? What did you receive? Who did you receive? What was that?
In Etowah County, I received
Etowah County.
some guns and some jury. And I received 99 years. One of the charges was a fraudulent charge.
Okay.
2 of the charges was of the same content and same act, which I should have received 1 sentence and 1 charge. But they broke it up due to the circumstances of the merchandise belonging to several different people. But I received the property at one time, which I only should have received 1 sentence during the course of 1 conduct.
Okay.
During my incarceration, I have been subjected, due to my litigation, of trying to free myself from prison, from improper sentencing process. I have been assaulted numerous times. I was
assaulted by who?
I was attacked by an officer.
Okay.
One time at Johnson Correctional Facility named Officer Binder, which they suspended for 3 days for use of excessive force, while a captain observed the incident firsthand.
Okay.
Which part of the record reflects that the captain was having an engaged conversation with another inmate concerning extortion from officers of his property, personal property. They were taking his property, and they were selling it.
Well, we see that around here all the time.
And for cash money.
Okay.
All right. And the officer who had threatened me months prior, I had wrote a complaint to the Justice Department, the Attorney General Office, the administrator, the warden at the time at Johnson Correctional Facility, who has an extensive history of assaultive behavior.
Right.
Which is in the Northern District paper of Alabama District Court.
Okay.
Federal Court. They suspended Officer Binder for 3 days. Basically, that's a slap on the hand to tell an officer that we give you authority to commit a criminal act of assault, and we will only smack you on the hand and suspend you.
Well, you remember, I don't mean to cut you off, Tony, you remember we was down there at Holman, the officer slapped Little Robert, called him a nigger. The other officer witnessed it, another officer witnessed it, wrote a statement on it, and he got the incident report. We went to federal court on the incident, and the judge said that's not a significant injury. You know, we're going to get those files, but, you know, the record is just, you know, we got all type of documentation showing that the system is not designed for anything but oppression.
During the course of my assault and attack by Officer Binder, I was handcuffed.
Okay.
Strained behind my back to fester. He slammed me forcefully down on my head and caused me now to have light seizures. I have continuous migraines.
Okay.
I have a vision impairment that's permanent. We are supposed to be getting ready to go to trial.
Okay.
I had informed the warden he failed to protect, and the captain failed to intervene.
Okay.
I was transferred to home correctional facility, upon which I was attacked by officers again in handcuffs. All this is defined by my litigation.
Okay.
Deplorable living conditions in Alabama.
So because you complain, you must suffer some more.
Correct.
That's what it boils down
Correct.
to. Now I want you to speak to, lately we done had dude got stabbed, the police bust Lil Zay head the other day, then we had a dude die, then we had a fight, then we had another fight this morning. When you put in context what's happening to you, I want people to understand that this happens every day.
Well, it's a perpetual cycle in the Alabama Department of Corrections of excessive force by officers. Also, there's a perpetual cycle of violence inside the institution because of lack of security.
Right. True.
They have violated every order from Newman versus Alabama, Pugh versus Lock, Diamond versus Thompson. These cases are derived from the 70s all the way till now. The prison is busting at the seams by overcrowding, which in reference creates a hostile living environment.
Right.
When you wake up in the morning, you're bumping hips with your cell partner. You can't get in the cell. You don't have space. You don't have no protection inside the Alabama Department of Corrections because the officers are so short of staff. And in the course of trying to protect yourself and defend yourself, you are subjected to all type of punishment and sanctions. In these cells.
Talk about, I'm shooting a video. If you go look at this toilet, what is this?
Correct.
Look inside of that toilet there. Look at all that.
Living conditions.
You know what I'm saying?
No cleaning supplies. You can't.
Somebody got a light. I want somebody to put a light off inside. You got a match or something, so people can get a good look at the bacteria buildup inside this toilet. Now, y'all saw that. Go stick it down in that little bit. Okay. Now look at the bacteria buildup inside of this toilet. We just didn't say, shit just built up in the toilet. But these cells passed inspection this morning, in case y'all didn't know. We got to get our cells inspected every morning, and feces, bacteria build up inside of the toilet. That's not sufficient, to deny inspection. I also want to take y'all to take a look at, this guy, he's got his clothes hanging up on the bed, and right next to it is his cell partner's bed. So you can see how close. He's got his underwear, he's got his face towel, and he's got his boots up under his bed right there. And his dirty clothes laundry bag is right there. These guys are living in these close quarters, and his cellmate has his dirty clothes laundry bag right there, just, less than 2 feet away from where his bellmate sleeps at. So you can see the rust, once again, on side of the bed, the paint chips and all that stuff inside of the walls. But this is what we're living with right here. This is Alabama, and this is what they call corrections and rehabilitation. And this is why they able to get on the news and the TV and say, oh, we can't let these violent criminals go. Oh, we can't let them go. It's because they know that they're not doing anything to rehabilitate people. They know that they don't have an infrastructure. They know they don't have the services. They know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for them to get on the TV and make that statement, but what the people inside are saying and what the Free Alabama movement is offering a platform for is for guys to give a chance to say, we want better, we want more, we want to do better, but they won't provide it with us because they're only interested in piling bodies in and working us and getting this free labor and exploiting our families for all the fun.
Excuse me, brother.
Come on.
I'd like to make this statement right here. I've had numerous of years of field record inside the institution without any type of institutional infraction. I have went up for parole on numerous occasions, and each time I have been denied. Even after the fact that they were completely aware of the fact that I had been assaulted by the guards, and the incident of the infractions that was in place upon me was a subsequent action of the aftermath of the assault. Well, when you were denied parole, how many times have you been up for parole on this name?
Well, first, how much time have you actually served in prison?
28 years.
28 years? On the 99?
Correct.
God, how many times have you been up for parole?
I've been up for parole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 times.
Okay, and when they set you off for parole, we know the way the system works. They don't have to tell you why you're being denied, and they don't tell you what you can do to make parole. So as you've been denied, you've done 28 years. Give me some insight inside your mind on what does parole mean. You got another parole date, but what does it mean?
Parole is a situation where if they can conjure in their mind that we are not fit for society. Me, I'm a black male in America, in a prison industrial complex, for a property offense. I've been denied parole. I have seen European inmates coming in for sex offenses, rapes, molestation on children, sodomy, make parole the first time after 2 years sentence. I've seen them be released twice. I've seen them be released and go to the street and reoffend and kill themselves after the course of attacks on their own family members. I only have received stolen property. I'm a property offender. But I have been denied parole 5 times.
I didn't even know that's what you was in prison for.
Correct.
You did 28 years.
Correct.
On receiving stolen property. I mean, I'm not surprised now that you told me, but I just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And to sit here and hear that story and put that story out there for the people who support Free Alabama movement, I'm sure they're gonna be affected by what you just said, because that's a hell of a statement to say you did almost 3 decades in prison and you ain't even committed a violent offense, let alone killed anybody.
Correct. I would like to iterate this fact here. After I was attacked by the guards and denied parole after this alleged incident, even though the guard, Mr. Binder, Joe Binder, had been suspended for excessive force on me while I was restrained and handcuffed behind my back. And I was denied parole after the fact of that incident.
Okay. For the disciplinary, I'm sure they wrote you.
Correct. Allegedly. In their minds, they said that they were using the incident report of insubordination and...
This is the parole board.
Correct.
Okay.
And a threat and a charge of failure to obey, which they took the failure to obey back because I never failed to obey an incident.
Yeah.
God that came to the hearing admitted that I never heard Bruce threaten anyone. My deposition is now pending in the federal court. I never heard Bruce threaten anyone. Yes, he became belligerent, which entails the fact that I was irate from the attack, and also I was
justifiably so.
Correct, you know what I'm saying? And I've been subjected to deplorable living conditions, rats,
I'm listening.
roaches, spider bites. I've had rats crawling on me in my bed.
I know that's right.
I've had roaches on me in my bed. When you write the administration, they don't have a grievance procedure for us to grieve. When we file a complaint to the administrators disregard the complaint, even though they're supposed to lodge them according to the Alabama Department of Corrections record of so now that they're supposed to be lodged, but they're not being lodged.
Okay. Yeah. Come on in.
One of the worst things about the prison system is that they don't have nobody else to.
Right. We don't have anybody to complain to.
Nobody to complain to.
And when we do complain and don't get a response, we don't have anybody to go over their head, so to speak.
Exactly. He's taking some steps that I've never thought to go that far while writing the system and writing these different type of people. You still ain't getting a response. I know the training course that we go through here, that our brother was talking about earlier, getting write-ups or whatnot, they ain't got nobody else they can slam how they want to.
Right.
It's dead. Whatever they say is what go. What's the worst part about this system? Them not having nobody else to and not having a reform. I keep repeating it because prisons are going to stay overcrowded in Alabama if we don't have a reform. If there's nothing for us to do for a senator to get out of prison, to make steps, to take the steps to get out of prison, then of course going to be overcrowded. And
then when you add all of that with the overcrowding, the filth and stuff that we say, you creating a mindset in the type of person. Really, you know, if we were on the outside and we were the men that we have become, then we would be leery of some of the people that we know will be coming out there too, because we know what they haven't received. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it creates hopelessness, it creates desperation, like the brother said. He's gonna get out from prison and he ain't got nobody. So he know he might have to do something that he really don't want to do. And
I don't even know where I'm gonna live at.
He don't even know where he gonna stay. So you know what I'm saying? These are the things that we saying this system can't, they can't just keep getting away with this. You know what I'm saying? We can't continue to not